Hello everyone. Now in this lecture we will go with the content about to the basic of Java server pages, that means the JSP. Now the basic syntax about to the how to write a code with the JSP. There are five different type of scripting element under the JSP. That first one is a command, second directive, third declaration, then scriptlet and the expression. Now we'll go with the one by one. In this lecture, we will focus on directives. In the previous lecture, we already know about the syntax of the command, and then declaration, directives, and all the things. Now, in detail about to the directives, how exactly it will be used under the JSP. Now, page directives is one directive is used to provide the instruction to the container. That one is simply the under the JSP page. Now the syntax to mention that page directives, that one is a percent at the rate page and the attribute and attribute value that will be used under the page directives. Now attributes related to the page directives, that one is these are the attributes which one is we used under the page directives. And, this one is the explanation about each and every attributes and the use of that. Like if we use the buffer as an attribute, that one is used to specify a buffering model for the output stream. Whenever we use just to put the output, that buffer is used or this attribute is used. Now auto flush controls the behavior of the servlet output buffer. That is the use of auto flush. This buffer will be clear with this attribute. Same thing, it contains some multiple attributes in the page directives, that is language, extents, import, content type, info, session, is thread safe, auto flush, buffer, is error page, page encoding, error page, is EL ignored. These are the attributes under the page directives. Now we will take a simple each and every attributes with the example, code of example of that. Now detail about the attribute, like first attribute is a language. It defines the programming language being used in the page. That is simply the page language is equal to whatever the value is. Actual example, that is page language is Java, content type is a text HTML. Now the character set, which one is with ISO standard, and the encoding done with the particular standard. This is simply the language is equal to Java. Language is an attribute of a page directives. Whenever we mention the code under the JSP with the page directives, these are the some attribute which is helpful to execute that data or the code. Now this is the above example, the attribute language value Java, which is underlying language in this case. Means the code is expression tag could be a compiled using Java compiler. Now second attribute, that one is extends. The attribute is used to extend the class like a Java does. That one is simply the language is Java. Now the whatever the basic attribute about to the page, and that page which one is extend with the which class, that is the demo test.demo class. That one is simply the somehow some functionality which one is comes under this class, which one is extended with the existing one. That is the use for that extend attribute is used to extend some with the another class. Now import, that means import something into the your program, like this function or the class is imported with the existing code, that is with the import attribute with the value of that attribute. That one is we can use this java.util.date, which one is prints the date. Now the next attribute, that means info. It's simply the use of info attribute defines string which can accessed by the get servlet info method. Attribute is used to set a servlet description. That one is contain the description about to the servlet, and that one is the info, that is guru directive JSP, which one is give the information related to the particular code. Now, Guru Directive J can be retrieved by the servlet interface using get servlet info. That is the use of info attribute under the page directives. Now same thing with the session attribute, then it is used to the session process. Now is the thread safe? That means again the used to process the your thread about to the JSP. Now auto flush, now the buffer, now the is error page, now the page encoding, now error page, now the is el ignored. So these are the page attributes which one is used under the page directives for the coding. Now this is a overall example about to the different type of JSP syntax, and that is a page directives. We just to go with the different type of page directives attributes. Now this simple date, that is for a class which means extended with the date that prints a output about to the existing date. Now JSP scripting element, that is mentioned with this tag, scripting element which one is mentioned with this tag. This is simple int count is equal to 0, which one is we can say that the scripting element. Now comment, which one is this one is the syntax to mention the comment under the JSP. Now scriptlet tag, that one is simply the scriptlet tag. In this example we show number of page visit, which one is mentioned with this variable count, which one is counts the number of visit about to the page. Using the above example, since the last few it's a scriptlet tag are used, every written inside the scriptlet tag is compiled as a Java code. This one is will be executed as a Java code, which one is counts each and every time when we visited to the particular page, it increase the count variable value, which one is with the plus count, and it will be the scriptlet JSP scriptlet tag. Now declaration tag, that means simply a declare the variable. This is the syntax to declare the declaration about to the variable under the JSP. Now the JSP scriptlet tag and JSP declaration tag, both are the different one, which one is used to a specific things. Like JSP scriptlet tag is only declare the variable, not a method, but under the declaration tag we can declare the variable as well as method also. Now scriptlet tag, declare of scriptlet tag is placed inside the JSP service, and declaration which one is outside this JSP service method. This one is a basic difference between the scriptlet and declaration tag. Now simply we know the how to define expression under the JSP. This is the syntax to mention expression. That is a percent is equal to whatever a plus b or maybe a content, which one is represented with the JSP expression. Now this is another example which one is represent expression. Index.jsp and the welcome.jsp, which one is contain the expression equation, which one is run with the welcome plus whatever the this request or method will be get the name welcome the person. That is simply the explanation about to the JSP syntax with the basic page directives. Thank you.